So I got all of the brake stuff cleaned out of my Bobcat, and I didn't get the brake parts yet from Bobcat. They said they'll give them to me free, but all this other damage is done already. From them parts being inside my machine, I ran my machine for about 20 minutes and the chain snapped right in half. And that's a couple hours to put a new one in at least. So I'm getting beat all the way around on this machine. Ever since Bobcat has been working on it, it has been broken. Worse than it was before. At least I got days worth of work out of it before. Now I only get 10, 20 minutes and it breaks. So, oh my gosh. And they're refusing to fix it because I pointed out their mistakes and did a video. Well, shame on me. So in my last video of my Bobcat, I had gotten it back from the dealership and the brake was all broken up in there, and I said in the video that something was binding. Well, I found out what was binding. One of the brake parts, so I gotta walk over here. One of the brake parts that was in there bound up in a chain and snapped it. You can see that something hit it. You can see damage over here. I should turn on the light, but there's damage there. And yeah, something hit this chain. It was one of them brake parts for sure. So now I've gotten another whole 20 minutes out of my machine since I got it back from the dealership. And the first time I noticed the emergency brake wasn't working and it was binding up. This time it broke a chain within 20 minutes. So I have drained all the oil out. That's why it's in such a weird position here. It's jacked up high in the back and jack stands under the front, low in the front. I got as much oil as I could out that way into a bucket. Here's my bucket. And the rest I pumped out because I went real clean in there. I'm gonna get a mirror or a scope and I'm gonna make sure there's nothing in there before I fix this chain. And Bobcat chains do not have master links. What they do is they ship you a chain, you got to squeeze it together, and I put a spot of weld on them usually to repair them. But we'll be back. I'm going to go in there and see if there's anything left in there, make sure it's spotless clean before I fix a chain. So now I got it down low enough, and I got it all drained out and sucked out. And the first thing I saw was when I looked in there, I finally found the plunger. This is the plunger for my brakes that were all broken up in my machine when I got it back. So there's the plunger, and that bound under the chain. You can see it's all gouged up. So that bound up under the chain. I'm gonna put it in the rest of the box over here with all of the other parts. There's brake parts and stuff that the dealer left inside of my Bobcat. But I missed this one last time I was in there, and it caused damage. So now what we're gonna do is fire this machine up, and we're going to rotate the rest of them. I got wheels off the ground. Everything's free. So, oh, I don't even have to put the lap bar down. The e-brake don't work. That's right. rest of the chains, I don't see any major damage. I gotta look at that one sprocket way back in there and rotate it, because that's the one where it broke. So I gotta rotate it and then look, and then rotate it and then look, and check that whole sprocket out in there, because you can't see the whole thing in one piece. And then I'm gonna go down to Tractor Supply, I guess, and get another chain. But I am gonna go in there deeper with my hand and make sure nothing's in there. So the chain in the Bobcat is diamond number 50, made in USA. It's a shame I'm gonna have to throw something else in it, but you can see where that big piece of metal hit it, and it snapped this one right in half. So I'm gonna go get some links. I might even have some in the shed. I gotta look around, but maybe we can repair this, or just buy another one from Tractor Supply, number 50, whatever. But we'll get it. So I am working on my Bobcat again over there. Waiting for a scope so I can scope inside to make sure I got the rest of the parts out, because the Bobcat dealer did not put my brake in properly. It's really easy to do. This comes right out of here like that. And if you put it in the machine, you got to make sure it's in like that. Or if you just jam it in the machine sideways like that, like they did at Bobcat, it will catch on the wheels inside. I'll show you. Here's the old brake that I found laying inside. You can see there's a bunch of burrs on it and scrapes on it. What happened is they put it in sideways, and it caught them cogs in there. See them cogs? They caught them cogs and ripped everything apart. You can see how it pulled out of there. It's all bent, see that? And my old guide, which them cogs go up through here, these are guides. My old guide was bent out there, which you saw in the other video. So Bobcat sent me new parts, but they refused to put them in my machine because I pointed out their mistake. They didn't like that. I brought a video up of all the damage in my machine from them putting the brake in wrong. So I'm going to make sure I have the brake sideways like that before installing it, like they didn't do. They put it in like that, and it just wrecked and ripped out, and it was big problems. And then, of course, I missed a piece last time I was in there, and it caught one of the chains and broke it. So I've had nothing but trouble. I've gotten 20 minutes out of my Bobcat since Bobcat fixed it for $4,400. So I am going to make sure this brake is in right and works right when I put it back in. But like I said, I'm going to run a scope inside the machine there and make sure I got everything out first. So yeah, that's what Bobcat did though. They put my brake in sideways like that, and that don't work so good. It grabs the cogs, it rips everything apart, it shredded everything and broke everything. So now I have to fix it because they didn't like me pointing out their mistake on video. So I'll get it right. They couldn't seem to handle it. Okay, Bobcat fans, here you go. What I do is I pull the brake up into the slot. I put a pair of vice grips on it very lightly. Then I put the cover back on. If you don't, you get a brake in sideways like the Bobcat dealer did, and it wrecks because it catches on the cogs, and next thing you know, you got broken parts all over, like I had. And then it caught in the chain and broke one of them too. So that's how it goes when people don't know what they're doing. Okay, so I got my panels all back in. I got my machine all back together here, and I got the emergency brake in, and got the oil back in. Let's see if it goes click. Ready? Whoa, you hear how loud that is? I haven't heard that since I got it back from Bobcat. Well, oh, do you hear that click? Ooh, nice. It works good. Well, that's it. I fixed it, finally.